Hey guys, welcome to the channel. It's Anthony here from IslandOutdoors.com, Island Outdoors Productions of Long Island, New York. Today we're going to be doing a little bit more of an interactive style video. We've been around for a while now. We've got a lot of requests on social media and all the other platforms, basically asking us what kind of programs do we use to make the videos and the photos that we have that really set us apart from that creative design. So today I'm going to be focusing on the blending process. We're going to be using Adobe Photoshop Creative Cloud 2018. Really can't say enough good things about the Adobe products. They've been nothing but satisfactory. The customer service is excellent. We use a lot of their products on the video side, the photo side of things, and post-production. So let's get right into it now. We're going to choose two photos here today. We're just going to do a basic blend. It's going to be a basic overview of how to do some of the Photoshop features. If you're familiar with Photoshop, this should come secondhand. If not, just follow along. So we're going to be selecting one of the pictures here now. We're going to click it out of the folder and click and drag. Now, I like to choose all the media on separate hard drives. That's why I have the click and drag option. Now, Lightroom is another great photo editing capability program, and we can actually export those photos directly into Photoshop, but right here for these purposes today, I'm just going to click and drag it in. So you notice when we click and drag the photo in here, it gives you the basic dimensions. We can rescale this photo. We could leave it as it is. We can go further down. I'm going to put it at the exact resolution rate, maybe stretch it out a little bit here as we have the width and height. The dimensions are posted in the bottom right, as you can see here. The more you stretch it out, the more the numbers increase. So we're going to click the check mark up on the top, and we're going to click that once, and that's going to save the image. So now you notice on the right hand side we have the layers. Okay, we have the layers, the channels, and the paths tabs here. We're going to stick with the layers, and we're going to drag in that second photo now. So we drag in the second photo. Now these photos were edited with Lightroom. Did all the post-processing in Lightroom. They were taken by the Nikon D810. Really great camera, just as a side note. So now we're going to do the same thing that we just did on the first overlay. We're going to stretch this down a little bit here, and we're going to get it to the desired form. I'm going to make it about that size right there. So that's going to be about 1.5 inches for the width and 0.9 for the height. And we're going to hit the check mark once again on the top. Now we could rotate this photo as well if we'd like to rotate it just a bit. I think we should do that, and we'll rotate it just like that. So we hit the check mark on top and it saves it. Alright, and another useful tool we're going to use here now, it's about 8 steps below from the bottom. It's going to be the eraser tool right here, notice. Now the eraser tool in the Photoshop 2018, it gives you a kind of a preview after every tool. You hover it over it. Just a quick preview, it shows you what it's for. Really nice option. It gives you like a basic layout of how to use all the tools. So we're going to use the eraser option now. We're going to click it on the size up here. It's going to be the first tab to the left, and it notices it has size. It does it by pixels. I usually like to select a nice wide pixel view to get that brush stroke feeling. We have the hardness level as well. The further up you go on the hardness, the rougher the image quality. So when you click on it, just as a test, it's going to ask you, the smart object must be rasterized before proceeding. Now, this basically is a warning. It's telling you that if you click on this image and you press OK, it's going to delete content from the image itself. We're just going to hit OK because that's what we want to do. Now we're going to hold down the left mouse button, and we're just going to drag it and see how rough cut those edges are. I don't really like doing that in the blending stop, so we're going to do an undo on this for a little bit, and we're going to go right back, and we're going to decrease the hardness of the eraser. So once we decrease that, notice we get a nice smooth bevel out of the eraser. So we just keep doing that around the edges, real nice, and we go around, and now we're going to use the opacity on the right. Okay, and we're going to make sure the layer is selected, and we're going to bring that opacity down just a bit, and notice how the image can blend right in. So we lower the opacity down. You can do it to the desired selection. We're going to use the eraser tool now just to blend in that image just a little bit more, and we go around the outside edge. And you can add as many images as you want. You're going to use the same style and technique that we just did for this first image to blend all those images together. Now, once that eraser is done and you're done with that, you're going to go to the movement tool, so the select. It's the move tool. You can move all the images around in the workspace. It moves the layers around, so I can bring this layer and put it over here, anywhere on the workspace itself. Now I'm going to move the layer down just a bit. Now let's just say you want to switch the rotation of that. You're going to select this Show Transformation Controls. That's going to be up on the top left. So we're going to click that, and we can actually rotate and stretch the image to the desired result. So we could stretch this image out if we'd like. We could scale it just a little bit up, and we're going to hit the check mark once again on the top. And then once to get those rid of the grid here, we're just going to deselect the Show Transformation Control button. So that's just a basic overview of how we blend photos. We can really get in depth with it. We can HDR the image. There's a lot of different capabilities that Photoshop uses. If we want to export this image now, I'm just going to really basically show you a basic overview of how to export to a JPEG. All of our images are taken in RAW. These were post-processed to be JPEG already. So let's just go over the basic overview of how to transfer this file and make it a JPEG. So we're going to go up here to File, and then we're going to go down to Share. We could do this in a few different ways. You could share it on different media platforms. Notice to the right we could share it through an email, messages, notes, Twitter, Facebook, add it to your photos on the computer. Now most of the time you can add it to the photos. That's what I do just for the hard drive backups. I'm going to deselect that. We're just going to use the Save As button here. So we're going to go back to File. We're going to go to Save As. Now notice it says Save As. You could save it as a Photoshop template. You could save it as in a recent folder. Okay, we can scroll up and down the folders here. You could save it to the backup devices. Currently I have a few hard drives plugged in, and we're going to select a name for this, so we're just going to select it as Test. Alright, we want to save it as a JPEG. So we're going to click JPEG here, and let's just save it to the desktop. And we save to the desktop here, and it's going to say Embed Color Profile. I would select that button. It really preserves the color and the veracity of the photos itself. So we hit Save, and you want to do large or small file based on the image quality. Always select the maximum quality. If you have an external hard drive, I highly suggest getting one of those if you're going to use these processing programs that Adobe makes. The best optimal quality images, you want to make that happen if you're using these programs. So I would highly recommend external drives. So we're going to hit OK. Now notice you can select the different size of quality you'd like. The file sizes obviously go down when the quality is down, and it goes up when the files are larger. So we're going to hit OK on that, and it's going to save it to the desktop. So that's the basic overview of how do we blend the photos here. Give us a like, subscribe, and be sure to comment below. We're going to get a lot more interactive videos as we progress, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.